All right, welcome back to another episode of Extra Innings on Gonzaga Nation Media Network. The number 12 Zags are fresh off their fourth straight series win in WCC play and now lead the second place Toreros by 2 games in the standings after taking 2 out of 3 from the Portland Pilots. Now this week holds a potential road trip seeking revenge against the number 3 Oregon State Beavers, and then the Zags head to Moraga to take on league foe St. Mary's. To walk us through the Zags clubhouse, let's welcome Gonzaga assistant coach Sean Winston to the show. Welcome, Sean.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. Really excited to get a chance to talk about the Zags.
Well, absolutely, man. I can't call you Sean. I got to call you Winnie. So hopefully everybody else knows that. I mean, that's the name we go by.
That works good. There's only one person that calls me Sean, I think, in this world. So I think you're on the right side with the Winnie call.
Good. I love it. Well, hey, fourth straight series win in WCC play. Talk us through it. How did we come out? What's the report card after that weekend with the Portland Pilots?
Yeah, I think it was a hard-fought series. You know, Portland with their coaching staff, obviously with Coach Loomis, they're really starting to play a really good brand of baseball. And what we kind of told our guys is, I thought their top 8 arms really kind of had the ability to throw strikes and change speeds. And so it was a hard fought series from us from an offensive standpoint. But we're happy to grab the series and still kind of sit in first place moving forward.
Yeah, I would say watch it. I was able to watch Brett Gillis, right? So that we did the broadcast on Thursday night. He's pretty much all that's advertised. And to me, what I thought was unbelievably impressive was how you guys completely changed how you approached at bats. And it led to him, and I think it was that 5th inning where he went 45 pitches.
Yeah.
If
you look back at it, sorry, Mike, I'd say if you look back at it, I think there's two guys that had big at bats and Cade McGee that I think led to a walk, and then Grayson Sterling towards the end that ended up, I think, lining out. But both those guys were able to eat 10 to 12 pitches in that inning late with 2 outs that really probably turned the game for us in that one.
Oh no, and then we can't take the light away from Rando, who hits the ball out while it's snowing. I mean, we start to see we're not a huge power hitting team, and to watch him line one over the left field fence, that gave you a little bit of energy.
It sure did. Yeah, no, he's come up big for us, time and time again throughout his kind of Zag career. And obviously that was a big one from our senior leader to run one out of the yard to tie things up.
How do you think Gabe Hughes? So Gabriel, you think about it, the last few weekends, he's given up some runs. He's thrown well, right? Like you guys were even saying when we chatted before the game on Thursday, his numbers really weren't reflective to how well he's thrown over these past few weeks. But how do you think he came out against Portland on Thursday?
No, he had a similar, I think kind of outing as the last couple of where he's pitching fairly deep, into the game, just 6 innings plus. The stuff's there. The strikeout numbers are there. He's had some tough luck, I think, with giving up a couple runs. I think at all the way back to San Francisco, he gives a 2-out triple, and then he has two bleeders and then a big hit where all of a sudden he's cruised for 4 or 5 innings and then ends up giving up a 3 spot. But he threw it well, obviously against Portland and gave us a chance to win. And that's something we've been able to kind of count on with him. Start after start of at least giving us an opportunity to get deep into the game and have a chance to win it late.
Oh, no, 2 totally different styles, right? You have Brett Gillis, who throws the ball, spins it a lot. And then you got Gabriel, who's not afraid to throw it right by you and challenge you. So it was unbelievable to watch pitchers duel, right? As advertised. 1 or 2 pitcher in the league.
Yeah, and Gillis was good. He's added a cutter that I don't know if a lot of people outside of from the numbers from last year to this year, but he's really added another pitch that's kind of changed how he's attacked hitters, and he's had a lot of success with throwing that cutter to us, and we were just able to kind of make an adjustment to it towards the end and got to him late.
And I always try to walk away from a game and I say to myself, where was the one unknown factor that kind of came into play a little bit? And I want to go back to Nico Zaglin, watching him throw those 2 innings before we got snowed out the bottom of the 8th inning. Would you say that's the best he's looked all year? Coming back from a leg injury from last year, I thought he got ahead on first pitch strikes and really put the Portland Pilots bats to sleep.
Yeah, when he's going good, he's working ahead in the count. Obviously, he has a plus plus changeup, maybe the best changeup on the team, just in terms of differential from, it's every bit of 12 to 13 miles an hour different from his fastball. So he has a plus pitch, and it matches or mirrors Husey really well, because Hughes is attacking the fastball and running it up there in the 94 to 96 range, and then Nico comes in, and if he has the ability to get ahead and use his changeup, the matchup game of giving their hitters a different look, with that pitch is really changed it. And yeah, he was lights out. I think we maybe would have ran with him again, going into that ninth inning if things were tied up, and the game was still going on. I think we would have rolled with him because he was throwing it well.
Yeah, very rarely do we ever get snowed out, right? And
Yeah,
I thought
right.
to myself, I go, what are we doing? And when the umpire goes, we're giving a 10-minute delay. I'm like, what's 10 minutes going to do? Let's try to fire through this and get it over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing, especially sitting here in April, dealing with that. But all the Northwest had that issue, and I'm happy with how hard our administration and guys work just to get through it and get everything set up for that next two games, because those were big games to be able to get in this past weekend.
All right. Well, we know you're not here. We know you're down in Oregon, right? Now we got a 2-game set against the Oregon State Beavers, right? Arguably one of the best mainstays in the region. Gave us a little bit of a run for our money, right, earlier in the year. So we got a little bit of revenge on our mind. What do you see coming into these 2 games?
Yeah, our guys are excited to play. We're down here in Corvallis, getting an opportunity to play, in their setting in front of their fans. There's always a good turnout here in Corvallis with their support, especially when the Zags are in town. This is, I think, 2 years in a row where we're coming in as a ranked opponent, and we still remember how the first weekend went down in Arizona when things were just getting started, and we're excited to match up, because I think our guys are playing pretty well and haven't forgot about the first week. So we're going to try to go give them our best punch and see how things unfold here tonight.
Think about this. When was the last time we were ranked 12th in the country mid-season?
What I've heard, I think, is back in the 80s, right? 1980, 1981, I think is what, we've just been told. I think we've got a good little track record going of being in this top 25, and I just hope it kind of continues, and our guys don't read into too much into the rankings, but it's really neat for the team to be recognized at such a high level, and the guys deserve every bit of it, of really being up there in the top 12.
Oh, they absolutely do. And that's what I think is so remarkable about the team, right? When you look at it, we're the youngest roster in the WCC. And when you watch, like we just talked about, when you watch young hitters take 10, 12 pitch at bats from arguably the best right-hander in the league in Brett Gillis, it shows you the maturity. They don't play like they're the youngest roster, and hence why they're ranked 12th in the country. So really, the question I would almost say to you, what do you think? There can't be much difference between number 3 and number 12 when you look at the rankings at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's programs up there that we've had some success on, this season and years past. Obviously, we had a great weekend down at Oak State, with them sitting in the top 5. So
best road trip in school history, I have to say.
I would. It was a lot of fun to be a part of, and I enjoyed going down there to Stillwater and watching our guys compete. They did a good job. But moving forward, that's another like opponent here with Oregon State, and we need to be ready to play really good baseball these next couple of days to have a chance to win.
So who are they going to see tonight? Are we going to throw Mullins? Who are we throwing tonight to start that 2-game series off?
Will Dreyer is going to get the baseball to start with, so it'll be his first start on the season. So our plan is, I think, to kind of run with him for a little bit, depending on how things are going. But with the big conference series coming up at the end, I think you could probably see us use a few more bullpen arms today rather than tomorrow, just in terms of trying to set us up to be healthy for the weekend against St. Mary's.
What should people expect from Will Dreyer? What's his mix?
Fastball changes probably his best secondary pitch. He'll wrinkle over a slider as well. When he's going good, he's a good 88, 90 mile an hour right-handed arm that throws 3 pitches. So he has the ability to keep hitters off balance, and he's been good when he's come in to throw for us. this year. And probably the best thing that he's done is he's really filled up the strike zone consistently. He's one of our best strike throwers on the team, going into tonight.
We preach it all the time, right? First pitch strikes, make them hit your pitch. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it always poses a little bit of a challenge, right? These midweek sets, right? Before you go into a big league play game on the road or series on the road and at St. Mary's. So how do you approach these two games as a coaching staff? I mean, we're talking the number 3 team in the country. Yeah, that's huge from a regional perspective to try to take one, if not both. But you also got to juggle the aspects of what does that mean going into the weekend? How much you're willing to sacrifice?
Yeah, that's the tough thing on the, when you're looking at RPI and looking at postseason hopes. These games in the midweek against Pac-12 opponents are big, especially when it's Oregon State and they're sitting at number 3. These are games that we really need to go win to set us up for the end of May and June. So I think we'll give a good run at things with making decisions and using arms however we need to, or what we're going to do within the lineup to give us the best chance to win. These are games that we definitely need to go after. With that said, our first goal every year is to go out and try to win the West Coast Conference Championship, and we're in a good spot. So we need to manage it, as a coaching staff with our guys, and just make sure that they're healthy and ready to go on the weekend, because we're sitting with everything in front of us within the West Coast Conference.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got a tough four series stretch here, right? You've got St. Mary's, LMU, Santa Clara, and then you finish with the Toreros on the road. So give a little bit of a preview of what this looks like for you guys down in Moraga.
Yeah, this is a big series. Series has had a pretty good year. They got hot right out of the gate, winning a lot of games. They got a good rotation. I think Bauer's coming back, who's an arm that's, I think he made his 3rd start on the weekend coming back from an injury. So they're getting kind of a little bit of a boost with their starting rotation. They got a couple guys in the middle of the lineup that can really have some power. There's 2 guys sitting there close to double-digit home runs, double-digit doubles in their middle part of the lineup. So we're going to have to be able to pitch to those guys and work around them at times. And I think we have our work cut out going into their place to win. And then obviously we got LMU and San Diego that are sitting, in 2nd or 3rd place in the West Coast Conference. So we have a tough schedule to finish out, as well as Santa Clara. Santa Clara's up there in that top 5 or 6, I believe.
You wouldn't want it any other way, right?
Yeah, that's kind of
any other way.
As we put it to our guys, they hold, the key to or control their own destiny of how we want this thing to play out, sitting in 1st place. And that's what when we go in and we recruit some of these kids, that's what we tell them is we want to put you in this type of an environment and this type of situation, and then essentially just try to step back and let those guys play and stay out of their way. And in some ways when the game turns on.
So do you think, is Zag Nation going to be able to see big Will Kepner on the mound at St. Mary's this weekend?
He's progressing the right way. I don't know. He's going to throw kind of a light bullpen off the mound either today or tomorrow. And then depending on how that progresses, we'll see with Kempe, but he's close. He's getting there, and that's going to be a huge lift for this team, just because of, not just because of how good he is on the mound, but just the teammate and the type of kid he is. Our team really rallies around him. He's one of our leaders, and the guys are definitely excited to get him back on the mound because they know it's going to, be a big kind of shot in the arm for us.
Just think about it. How big has Owen Wild been through this past few week stretch?
You could probably say he's maybe the biggest piece on the staff. Gabe's done his thing. Tristan's obviously done his. Brody, Spell, Gomez, Zeglin. I mean, there's a whole list, but when you look at it, Owen's kind of the one that's really stepped up in a big way to throw the baseball on the weekend for us. And I know he's it seems like every start he gets, he's improving and making another jump, from the week before, because he hasn't done it a lot. This is the first time he's made 6, I think, college starts in his career. So he's kind of, to me, and this might be early to say, but he's kind of following the path of what Tristan did for us a little bit last year, where he started making that jump halfway through the season, and is really kind of, I think, turning the corner and has a chance to be really special if it continues to click for him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll end with this. I'm going to pivot to you a little bit here, right? You find yourself in the third base coaching box this year. You finished last year with it when the program was dealt with the blow, right? With Danny, with his off-field battle with cancer. It's amazing to watch how the baseball community has embraced him, the impact he's had on the program. It's unbelievable to see how this young roster has stepped up to the plate, so to speak, and is performing at such an unbelievable high level. What does that mean to you? Winning?
Well, I think everybody within the community and Coach Evans, battle off the field. I think the really neat thing is to watch everybody kind of rally around him. He was also the guy that was always in the community and always helping others. So we're kind of seeing that come back towards the program, which is really, really neat. We definitely are with him the whole way through this battle in the family. And, it's a reminder for me every time I run out to the third base coach's box is to, think about Danny and the family. And then just this ability to coach this young team. Danny was a huge part in recruiting these kids and these families. So he's done an excellent job, obviously, with that. And that's maybe something that's stood out to me of getting to know these kids maybe a little bit more than what I normally would, because Coach Evans is not around full time. But it's been a really neat situation, getting to know those families, and it's been a really big challenge, for me of working in a different area that I haven't or hadn't in a handful of years. But it's been nice to kind of get over to third base and get comfortable a little bit. And I've definitely leaned on Coach Evans for some advice and situations of what we should do. And he's been a big help, not only to this program, but to me within coaching. So.
Well, Winnie, you guys are 23-9, 11-4 in league. Best of luck down in Corvallis. Go ahead and sweep them. Feel free, will you?
Yeah, thanks. We will. We'll definitely give it our best punch tonight, and look forward to competing against the Beavers and getting back to Spokane and playing in front of our fans here in a couple weeks.
Well, I love it. Gonzaga Nation assistant coach Sean Winston, Zags tonight, 5:35 against the Oregon State Beavers. Thanks a lot, Coach.
All right, thanks, Mike.